Adam C. Brooks, here to present the topics and then get out of the way.
It's good that we have an opportunity to talk to them and see exactly where they are. Even if you know somebody, you may not know how they feel about important issues.
We're here with Lumberton ISD School Board President James Kirsch.
A good portion of the money I found on going through the records was used at the casino.
Yeah, the information that I have, Adam, and first of all, I want to thank you for having me on.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Daniel Malasa. I'm the meteorologist for the Brooks Report Live.
Gentlemen, thank you for joining me on the Brooks Report Live. My name is Adam Brooks. I will be your host this evening. We are here and joined with State Representative James White.
Adam, thank you for having me on, and we want to tell all that are watching that we're extremely proud to represent them, especially those in Polk, Tyler, Jasper, Newton, and Hardin County. And I understand their frustration.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining me here on the Brooks Report Live for another great live edition. Today, we have a very special guest that I'm very excited about, a guy that you guys here, especially here in Southeast Texas, will all know. I'm going to bring him in right now, Mr. Joe Pillen, Sr. Mr. Pillen, first of all, let me say thank you for doing this. This is definitely a pleasure and an honor for me. For folks who don't know, you're a business mogul, a philanthropist, president of the 100 Club, and just all around a great guy. So again, thank you for being here with me tonight.
Thank you, Adam, for having me. I appreciate all the kind words.
Well, it's certainly, there's certainly more that could be added to there, but you know, a lot of folks may be asking, well, what are we doing here tonight? You know, what are we talking about? And so I just want to kind of set it up, how we got to this point where we're at tonight. You know, a few weeks ago, you and I were having dinner at the same restaurant, and, you know, we started chatting, and you were telling me about how you had made a call to the Sean Hannity show, and you were telling me about the topics and that sort of thing about what you guys were talking about. We're going to get into that in just a little bit, but what really impressed me the most after hearing that call was what Sean Hannity not only said about you, calling you a great American hero, which I kind of agree with. And then secondly, what he didn't do, what really impressed me. And that's the fact that he didn't interrupt you through that whole call. Tell me what prompted you to make that call in the first place.
Well, I listened to Sean Hannity. I listen to the different talk shows every day, because obviously we're all interested as Americans in what's going on in our country from day to day, especially the last several years. It's gotten so bad, and that's generally Sean Hannity and yourself, and you know, we got two or three people that we listen to, Clay and Buck, and we listen to Michael Berry, and we all are on the same page, and y'all all speak the truth. We're not trying to make anything better than it is or worse than it is, and you generally get the information, you know, firsthand. And when I was listening to him, it seemed to me that there's a lot of confusion, still is, of why gasoline was going so high, diesel was going so high. And it appeared to me that Mr. Hannity and them did not really have a good handle. They had an answer, but it was really, to me, I thought they were off base. And I listened to it for a few days that week, and I thought, well, hey, I'll give him a call and see. Maybe I can put my 2 cents in, see if I can make any sense of it, and see if he'll take my call. And he did.
Well, you know, and as a result of that encouraged you to really take a more, I guess, aggressive approach to things about talking about some of these issues and some of the things. I mean, you have, you know, 50, 60 plus years, you know, as a business owner, working in different sects and dealing with a lot of folks. And in fact, I mean, I'd really, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you about a few of those things. And I would like to start off with the energy, you know, because we live in the heart of energy here in Southeast Texas, not to mention in Texas in general. You know, I was looking at some of the things that President Biden has said. For example, he said the idea that our refining capability is one big reason for rising gas prices here lately. Is he wrong?
Oh, he's absolutely wrong. I mean, the refineries are doing fine on capacity. When you have a capacity problem, you'll have a shortage. And we did in 1973. We had gas lines and a lot of the filling stations were out of gas, and you'd shove your car up there after about 3 hours and be a sign that says we're out now. And they limited you to 10 gallons. That's when you have a shortage in a refinery capacity problem, because our crude got shut off completely through the embargo. We don't have that problem now. You can go to any station, any convenience store, anywhere in the United States, and you don't wait in line, and they don't limit you to the amount of gallons. So that's complete falsehood that we don't have enough refinery capacity. We have plenty of capacity. The problem with it was the product going into the refinery got too high, and that's what moved the price up at the end of the pump.
Well, and I know, you've read several businesses, and so that kind of opens the door for us here for our next question, and that's about manufacturing, because every American is feeling the effects of our supply chain issues that we have here. The U.S. imports goods, and I got this right off your website, so I really want to encourage folks to go there and check this out. It's joefortexas.com. Anyways, you said on there, it says the U.S. imports goods amounting to $3.6 trillion per year, but we only export $2.5 trillion per year. The fact that we import too many products that we rely on rather than manufacturing them here in the good old U.S. of A., is this not a big reason for the supply chain issues we experience today?
Absolutely. We're so dependent specifically on China, but other countries also. And, China's upset with us because of the tariffs and more reasons than one. So now that we don't have a strong president in the White House, they're coming back to retaliate. They wouldn't do this if Donald Trump would have won the second term. So what they're doing, they're not only delaying merchandise being shipped out of China because they can, they're also increasing the price, and they're holding us hostage because they know we're dependent on their production, because we've let our manufacturing dwindle to almost nothing in this country.
That's right. And, we look at this baby food shortage, and there's more to it, but that comes to mind because that's the most recent thing that folks were wrestling with. I mean, these issues are serious. And you said, and I know you're a big component, a big advocate for Donald Trump. I think most of us here in Texas are. I believe he won this state, and I believe if he decides to run again, he'll win it again. And then we could really spread off and talk about a lot of things concerning the election and election integrity. But I want to kind of stay on track, because I believe some of the things that you wrote on your website, joefortexas.com, it really impressed me because it seems like common sense, but at the same time, it was even educational to me because I don't have the experience that you have. Now, folks may or may not know this, but you are the president of the 100 Club. Do you mind telling folks what the 100 Club is?
Absolutely. The 100 Club is an organization that was started many, many years ago in Texas and throughout the United States. A group of people got together and all put up $100 a piece to have some money in case a policeman at that time got killed in the line of duty. It is expanded to include first responders and the fire departments. It comes in, there's different chapters. Some states have a whole state that covers the 100 Club. Ours is a 3-county, Hardin, Jefferson, and Orange County. And what we do is we come in and we assist the family when that loved one, that breadwinner, goes down the line of duty. They're going to get some money from the state. They're going to get some federal money, but there's a pretty good delay there. The house note needs to be paid. The car note needs to be paid. The kids need to be able to go to school. And if they're in athletics, they need to stay there to keep their mind straight and keep focused on what they're doing. So it's a gap that we come in and supply those funds to keep that family afloat and in a good way. And And we do spend a lot of time with that family also, just from the counseling side.
Well, I appreciate everybody that contributes and donates to that. And if you want to know more about that, either reach out to us here at the Brooks Report. I believe you guys have a website. But the reason why I asked you that question is for our next topic, and that is crime. Unless you've been living under Mount Rushmore, folks don't need to be told that there's a crime problem. There's a violence problem. It seems to be at an all-time high, as a matter of fact. Do you think this has anything to do with defunding the police?
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. You've seen the spike when the country went on this new deal of defunding police. You've seen that now that the district attorneys in a lot of these big cities, are just completely standing down when crime is committed. They're letting people steal as long as it's under a limit. I mean, that is totally ridiculous that they're running out there. The crime is just running completely off the chart. And policemen have been in such a microscope and also in a telescope. They're being looked at from one end to the other, and they have a split second to make a decision when it's life and death out there. And then they're always making the wrong decision now. Up until the George Floyd unfortunate situation, we didn't have such a bad outlook on our policemen. But we do have a thin blue line in this country, and that keeps us able to go to the shopping mall, able to go out in the morning and get your paper out of the yard, able to go to a ball game, able to go to a movie theater with feeling some safe and secure. Without that, if we don't have the blue line, we better all stay at home.
And, I couldn't agree with you more. As you can see my flag behind me here, I've kept it up all these years doing this. I support our local law enforcement or national law enforcement, and so I completely agree with you on that. Well, Mr. Penland, I really want folks to go check out your website. It's called joefromtexas.com. You can go there, you can check it out. I'm sure you'll be updating it with more topics and more things as we move closer to these midterm elections. And, do you have any and I don't know if it's proper for me to ask you this, but do you have any predictions for the midterm? For November?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Adam. And the reason for this website is we want to educate people as much as we can on what we're doing research right now. We have several universities doing research for us right now, digging in like this new bill that they're trying to get passed or will pass. What is the ramifications of that to the American people? And we're trying to dig in this and dissect it. And you'll be seeing that on our website coming up in the next week or so. And we want to educate people, and hopefully we can drive people to the polls in November. We have got to win back both houses. We cannot let them continue to run completely unleashed like they are. We won't replace the presidency in November, but we can at least get him under check. And we've got to do that because you see what this new deal is with all the new people they're hiring to come at me and you and every other citizen, what's going on. You see what's happened here recently with the raid. That means if they can do that to a former president, you can see what they can do to me and you and everybody else. The country is really in a bad way right now. Everybody needs to be educated. I've been successful in life and in business, and I could help a few thousand people, but I can't help millions of people from where I sit. But if I can get millions of people to the poll to change Washington for the better of this country, then I'll feel like I've accomplished something here near the end.
You know what? And I couldn't appreciate that more. Mr. Penland, thank you so much for being a guest here on the Brooks Report Live. Like I said in the beginning, it's an honor and a pleasure for me. I've always respected you and I've always looked up to you and appreciate what you do for all our communities around here. And so thank you again. Guys, go check out joefromtexas.com and share it. Don't be afraid to share it with your social media feeds. Again, we are broadcasting on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, all social media platforms, but go and share that website for your friends on your social media feeds. Send in an email, send in a text for folks that maybe don't do social media, and bring some attention to it. Put it on the front of their conscious and make them aware. We've got to get out and vote this November 1st. And again, Mr. Pillen, is there anything else you would like to add before we wrap up here?
No, Adam, but I do appreciate you being a good American. It feels good. Like today, we had a 100 Club meeting. We always start off with pledge, and then we bless the food before we get started. That's the only kind of organization I want to belong to, and that's what the United States is about.
And that's patriotic to the core, and that's what real Americanism is. So, again, thank you, and thank you guys for joining us here on the Brooks Report Live. Again, Joe from Texas.com. Go check it out, and don't forget to share this post, like it, add a comment. If you want to respond to anything Mr. Penland said in the comment section, go ahead and feel free to do that. Again, thank you guys, and have a safe day. Thank you so much.